Hey, everybody. David Swor here once again with DJ Cox for another episode of Frenemies. And as you can tell by DJ's stupid hat, we're going to have to talk about the Orioles here. Now, this is going to be a little bit new for us. We're going to buzzsaw through this. We kind of ran out of time. Today's opening day, so we got to get after it. So shorter shows for the next little bit. So hang on. DJ, tell us about last year for the Orioles.
Fourth place, man. Didn't really realize they finished above the Red Sox, but they did somehow. Chris
Really?
Davis ended up with a 115 batting average. That's awesome because they pay him a ton of money. And it makes a lot of sense that they're paying him that money. He's doing really well. So good job, Chris. Way to steal money. Ryan Mountcastle seems like a stud. He batted .333 last year in his debut. So that one of their top prospects, no doubt. No winning records among guys who started in 2020 for them on the mound. Tommy Malone led with an ERA of 3.99, and Asher Wojciechowski had a 6.81 ERA. That was terrible. Hey, though, on July 26th, this team was in first place, and that was at the beginning of the season, obviously, but over there. So, however, being 2-8 versus the Blue Jays, 3-7 versus the Yankees, and 0-4 versus the Marlins absolutely killed them, David. They had a rough year. But I cannot believe they finished above the Red Sox. That blows my mind how bad the Red Sox were last year.
That absolutely blows my mind. I didn't even realize that, to be honest with you. I knew that the Red Sox kind of fell out of it, but, man, that makes me want to take back my kind words on the Red Sox being able to contend this a little bit this year. I mean, I had no idea. But crazy year. But the Orioles, they're kind of starting to take a few – small steps forward. You can actually sort of see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, DJ, 2021 lineup, go.
So the lineup, man, they are going to go with Austin Hayes in center field, 4 homers, 9 ribbies, 279, 328 on base. DJ Stewart in left, 715, 193, 355 on base. Anthony Santander, 1132, 261, 315 on base. Trey Mancini is back as the DH. Time out for a second.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fabulous. That's absolutely unbelievable. We could talk this whole show just about him, and I'd be happy to be honest with you. Chase Sisco is your catcher, 4 bombs, 10 ribbies, 214, 364 on base. Ryan Mountcastle, stud, 5 homers, 23, 333 on base, 356, or 333 average, 356 on base. Mikel Franco actually just got signed by them. So he's going to be the third baseman, 9 bombs, 32 ribbies, 222, 286 on base last year. Those might not be his stats. Those might be real Ruiz's stats now that I look at that. But Franco's going to take his place, and he's going to be on the bench now, Ruiz. Freddie Galvis is your shortstop, 7 bombs, 16 ribbies, 220. Batting average, 308 on base. And Yomer Sanchez, former White Sox, 1 homer, 1 RBI, 313, 476, and limited playing time last year. On the bench, you had Chris Davis, who they're still paying a lot of money to be really bad at baseball. Cedric Mullins and Pedro Severino are also on the bench. And Brandon Hyde is the manager. He's been there for 3 years now. This is his 3rd season, so a rough lineup there. David, what do you think?
DJ, I kind of like this lineup, to be honest with you. I like Mountcastle. I thought Mikel Franco was a sneaky signing. And I just want to make sure. So Sisco looks like he's going to be the starter because Severino actually made the All-Star team last year.
That's very true. And about 3 weeks ago, I would say Sisco was on the starting role there. And I don't know why. Maybe Severino was hurt then is what might have happened. They probably threw him in there at that point. But you're right about that. I mean, if you're going to put Severino on the bench for Chance Sisco, that's probably a really bad move. So I agree with that. That's a good point.
I was hating on the Orioles pretty bad for letting Hanser Alberto go. And the guy that's in Detroit, I cannot think of his name right now.
Ronaldo Nunez, yep.
Yep. But, like I said, I kind of like this lineup. Freddie Galvis was a good ad, I think. He's generally been a good bat. I know last year was kind of rough on him. So, yeah. And you know what I didn't realize is Anthony Santander, until we did our fantasy podcast, I had no idea that he had as good a year as he did last year. And so, again, you're starting to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel here. But here's where it gets kind of shaky. DJ, let's talk about this pitching staff. I'm definitely putting quotes around that. Man, Am I reading this right? That our boy Matt Harvey is their number 2 starter?
I believe so because
Oh my word!
he's been signed by them. I didn't have him on my 5-man rotation here when I did this. It was John Means, 2-4 last year, 4.53 ERA. Keegan Aiken was the number 2, 1-2, 4.56. Dean Creamer, 1-1, 4.82. Jorge Lopez, 2-2, 6.34 ERA, and Felix Hernandez as the 5th starter. And like you said, Matt Harvey's worked his way in that rotation too, as well. Ooh,
It's so bad. It is so bad. I don't know why the Orioles, they're starting to take some steps forward, man. Give me an arm or two. There was a lot of guys available for not very much money on short-term deals. I don't get it. The bullpen now, it's a little more interesting. I like Dylan Tate, former Yankee prospect. I don't mind Adam Plutko and Wade LeBlanc and those guys that they got down there. Cesar Valdez, he used to be with the Yankees for a minute too. He's not terrible. But man, all I know is I hope they can hit. That's all I can say. Because if not, it is going to be. Last year they only had to put up with it for like 60 games, but 162 games is a long time, DJ, when your pitching staff is terrible. So
brutal.
yeah, absolutely brutal. So what about some position battles? You got anything for that?
Well, I'm ready for the catcher battle to be there. Severino, like you said, was a stud last year, but it's time for Adley. It's time for Rutschman, I believe.
Yes.
He's got to come up and play. So you got an all-star there, and you've got a stud catcher. So to me, you got to find a way to put Mancini back in the outfield, and then you got to put Severino at DH, and you got to catch the stud Adley. So the catching position, I believe, is up for grabs, and Chance Sisco's actually been fighting for a spot there too, and making some noise too. So a lot of catchers that are fighting for some spots here. So, but the number 2 prospect in all of baseball, David, he's ready to go, and it's time to bring him up. We've been waiting for him for a long time. I believe this is the year we finally see him, and it's go time from there. So, what do you got, David? You got any ideas?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the rotation, you could definitely say that. I mean, it's got to be an open contest. I've never even heard of hardly any of these guys other than Means, which is, by the way, is a West Virginia product, and of course Matt Harvey. And so, I mean, I don't know what they got down there. Wade LeBlanc has been a pretty decent starter at times, and so I wonder if he'll find his way in that rotation. But it sounds to me like it's pretty much an open competition. But DJ, let's double back a little bit. Tell us a little bit about Rutschman. I mean, do you have any information on him, really?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. He's actually my prospect son, so you kind of walked right into that one for me. He's the Orioles are 18th by Keith Law as far as overall goes, and Adley's the number 2 prospect on all baseball. He's a catcher. 2021 is the year that he's coming up. He's going to be the face of the franchise. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like, he's going to be the guy moving forward for them. They've been waiting for him for a long time. He's 22 years old now. He spent the whole entire 2020 season at the alternate site waiting and never got the call. He will start at AA, which is honestly good for him because it's better baseball there, but it won't be long, David. I will be in tune for his debut. I've been waiting for it for a long time. I'm excited about it. He's a 4-tool player. He doesn't have that speed tool, man. So
Yeah.
you hear about 5-tool players. He's got the other 4. He will not run though. He will barely make it to first, and you will pinch run for him late in games. But he's got everything else, man. He's a great receiver and catcher. Has a very strong arm. He's a field general. He's the man. He controls the game too. Number 1 overall pick in 2019. I love his swing too. I just, I hope that Casey lets us know when he's debuting and kind of gives us a heads up on that if he hears something, because, we really are looking forward to see him, and I will definitely tune into his first game. So what do you got, Dave? You got any prospects to?
Yes. So the Orioles, their farm system's improving. I didn't realize it. They're top 10 now by Keith Law. Number 7. They've got only 2 top 100 prospects. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. They have 5 top 100 prospects.
Wow.
So Mountcastle still qualifies as a prospect. They got, I'm gonna butcher this, Heston Kjerstad, I think is how you say that. DL
Yep.
Hall's a guy we talked about last year. a pitching prospect, if I'm not mistaken. So they're starting to kind of put it together here a little bit. And like I said, you can sort of see the light at the end of the tunnel. So it'll be interesting to see these guys come up. A lot of them really close. And maybe we get to see Rutschman this year. DJ, I think he's probably still a year away.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I
Really?
think. Well, I mean, they got Severino there, and why start the old clock that we've talked about? Why start it if let's just be honest, they're not going to be contenders here. So
True.
we'll see. We'll see.
I
Can't
hope
keep
so.
you down forever. Yeah, absolutely. So, DJ, what do you think the strength of the team is?
Well, it's easily just the offense. A few of the guys that we talked about. I love Mancini, Ellie Rutschman if he comes up. Ryan Mountcastle. The Twins, when we had them on, talked a lot about Mountcastle. Now I see why. He's a stud, David. He's a really good ball player. And Santander's a good ball player, too. And Severino. So they've got some pop in that lineup, no doubt. And Franco, like you said, that was a sneaky move. He hasn't been able to fit in anywhere he's gone for some reason. He just doesn't seem like a great clubhouse guy, to be honest with you. But, maybe this is exactly what the Orioles needed to kind of add that punch to their lineup a little bit, so to speak. Because I was really upset when they lost Nunez. I thought he was a stud. But they kind of countered it with a few moves here and got Mancini back. So I think that's totally their strength. What do you think, David?
Yeah, I totally agree. There's nothing in the pitching world over there that we could call a strength at all at this point. So it's got to be the lineup. And it is interesting. Those young guys coming up, Anthony Santander, Ryan Mountcastle. We've talked about those guys, Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes. Those are all some interesting prospects. Severino's been really good behind the plate. We talked about him. So, yeah, honestly, I think they're going to score some runs this year. But the weakness, DJ, has got to be the pitching, right? It's just so bad. It's just so bad. Especially, like I said, when a lot of these guys could have been had on one-year deals. I understand not wanting to sign some long-term contracts right now, but, James Paxton was had on a one-year deal. We could just go through a ton of guys were had on a one-year deal that I think really could have helped this team. But did you have that as a weakness as well?
David, give me Ben Foster, Dusty Childress, David Ford, Steven Shelton, Joe Friend, and Jason Stiltner over these guys any day and twice on Sunday. I promise you I'd rather have our college rotation than these guys, man. It's brutal. It's awful. It might be the worst we've seen in all these podcasts we've done, so it's definitely the weakness. And I'll definitely take our college teammates, including yourself, at a 5-man rotation over them. So
I was going to say exactly what you said. I believe this is the worst pitching staff that we've seen, and that's saying a lot because the Pirates look really rough. Of course, they dominated the Cubs today, so maybe they're better than we think.
We're not going there. I'm still wasted 4 hours of my life today on that one. That was rough.
You got to watch out for Chad Coolman. He's shut down starting pitcher. So
you dominant innings there, yeah.
So DJ, favorite Orioles memory?
Got to be Cal Ripken. I love the streak. David, 2,632 games in a row. There is no way this streak ever gets beat with COVID, with all these people sitting out for different reasons. Guy pulls a hammy, he's out for 3 days now. They don't play through injuries like they used to, and especially in the regular season. They might in the playoffs, they'll fight through things. This streak, every time I look at that number, I can't even fathom how many games in a row he played. There's zero chance it gets broken. That's 16 full seasons in a row, David, that he did not miss a single game. And when he broke that record, I still can't believe it. Like I said, it's one of the most unbreakable records in all of baseball. There are a lot of, I think, unbreakable ones. I think there's more than just this one, but this is definitely one of them. Honorable mention is Earl Weaver. Man, he would say some things to umpires that would probably get him in a lot of trouble nowadays because it's a different day and time. He would not get away with some of the things he said to umpires. They used to have hot mics on him, man, and oh my goodness. Plug your wife and your kids' ears, man, because he would light them up to no avail, man. And he was a fire little booger. I believe behind Bobby Cox, him and Bobby Cox got to lead in ejections all time and at least be in the top 5, those two for sure. But some of the stuff was pretty funny, but some of it, a little over the top. So
I'll have to look that up, actually. I did not know that.
Fire little booger, man. So what you got for a memory?
Well, I was going to go with Cal Ripken. I'll never forget the All-Star game when he hit the home run, all that was just super cool. But I'm not going to go there this time. I believe that's where I went last year, 1996, I believe it was. And I believe the guy's name was Jeffrey Mayer, if I'm remembering right. Ball hit to right field at Yankee Stadium. He sticks the hand out. Poor Tony Tarasco is camped under it.
Oh, Tony Tarasco.
Tony Tarasco, yeah. And the Yankees dynasty began right there. I'm not sure they win that game without that home run. And the rest is history. That Orioles team was ridiculous. They were definitely juicing a little bit. Brady Anderson, I think, hit 50 homers that year.
Albert Bell.
I have to say Albert Bell was on that team. Of course, Cal Ripken was on that team. I'm not accusing him of juicing. I'm just saying it was a good team.
Palmeiro.
Yeah, Palmeiro. Yeah, I forgot about him in there. So that has to be my favorite memory. Of course, I didn't think back in the day that he really leaned over. I thought it would made it in the stands anyway. So
of course you did think that.
Casey Davis, that was for you. Thought you would enjoy a little history lesson right there, a little remembering. So that's my favorite memory of the Orioles. So DJ, we know this, that the Orioles have maybe the best park, and you've been there. So tell us about it.
Yeah, so I just want to say real quick on that little note. So it must be nice to have a fan that works for you and not against you as a Cubs fan. We'll move on from that one. 1992 to the present, Camden Yards. Yes, I have been there. I was in and out of there in like 40 seconds after the game because it was during the Baltimore riots. And so it was probably a bad time to be there. We were in and out very fast. They had just gone through the riots, so we were in no desire to stay anywhere close to the field after the game. I loved it, man. To be honest with you, this is up there in my top 5 by far. It's awesome. The warehouse is really cool in the background. I sat behind home plate for this one because you wanted to see the warehouse. So I thought that was the best view. Very good food, gift shops, hanging out areas. That whole warehouse area, like in front of that, David, for like a long span is just a bunch of like stuff to do. It's really cool. They got all the statues, you know, of all the legends that they always have. A lot of legends have played for the Orioles over the years. They got a really cool park there with that. I completely loved it. I thought it was really awesome. Big fan of that. Orioles fans are really cool. I got to hand it to them. I think that they, you know, a lot of guys were talking to me, just, hey, you're from Chicago, you know, and blah, 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 and just really cool fans. And I loved it a lot. Memorial Stadium was there until we were about 11 years old, and I never went to that one. I think that was a dump. Camden is awesome. Ken Griffey Jr. hit it off of that warehouse. The only person in the history of the game to hit it off the warehouse. It wasn't a home run derby, but still, you hit it off the warehouse. So loved it. Top 5, man. You ever been there?
No, that's definitely somewhere that I've always wanted to go. It's actually really not that far for me to go there, 7-8 hours maybe. I made it to Washington that one year, not much further to Baltimore. So definitely going to have to do that one of these days. I've always loved it. It was really one of the first, redesigned old style parks, and man, they hit it out of the park on it. It looks awesome. So DJ, trivia time. Top 10 Orioles home runs all time. Go for it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Cal Ripken. I'm going to go Brooks Robinson.
Number 4.
I'm going to put Palmeiro in there. I'm kind of worried about that one because he probably wasn't there long enough, but I'll say
number 7.
Okay, good. Man, you know what? I think this is kind of ridiculous, but he had that one crazy year. So Brady Anderson make the top 10 for them?
Yeah, he did. Number 8, 209. Most of these guys are in our era, to be honest, or a lot of them are.
So, man, I keep wanting to say Albert Bell. I'm going to go with Bell.
Nope.
I've been there long enough. Okay. Oh, man. It's my first strike. Doggone it. Let's go Chris Davis. I mean, he's got to be.
Number 6, 253, actually. That surprises me.
Yeah, he hit a lot of bombs there for a while. He was in the 50s a few years in a row. Man, Miguel Tejada, I'm not going to go with. He was not there long enough.
You're doing pretty well.
Oh,
Think about
Eddie Murray.
number 2,
Yeah, Eddie Murray. Duh.
343 homers.
And did I say Brooks Robinson already?
Number 4.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah, I might have ran out of firepower there. How many did I get?
I didn't count them up, and Allison just stole my computer. But you missed Boog Powell. You missed Adam Jones. That one surprised me. 263, right in front of Chris Davis. Ken Williams, number 9, and Ken Singleton, number 10. And if I miss somebody in there in between, then kiss my butt, because I can't remember. I can't believe I remember that much.
I'm pretty sure I got 6 of them, so that makes a lot of sense. I should have got Boog Powell. That was a big guy in the 70s for them that just mashed. But the rest of those guys I would have forgot about, no doubt. So, David, my turn to you now is the Orioles had a record 4 pitchers in 1971 win 20 games, one of which is a Hall of Fame pitcher for them that you do know. And who was that?
Jim Palmer.
Jim Palmer, that is correct. So the 4 guys that did it, Mike Cooler, 20, Pat Dobson, 20, Jim Palmer, 20, and Dave McNally, 21. That is unbelievable.
Crazy.
4 guys hit the 20 mark. My other trivia question that was actually for you, I gave it away earlier just by telling you Ken Griffey Jr. hit the warehouse, and you probably would have got that one too, but I just ruined that.
I would have remembered that. No, I remembered it after you said it.
I blew it because that actually the first one was for Casey if he was going to be on the show, and then I had the Ken Griffey one for you. But oh well, you got it right. So good on you.
So DJ, where's this team going to finish?
Dead last. I can't believe they finished 4th last year. I really can't. So we're going 5th in the AL East. Literally all the 4 teams in this division got better and will compete. Yeah. The Orioles got better, but their pitching staff is atrocious, and they have no shot of competing with that pitching rotation. So maybe they can start to turn it around and get into 3rd or 4th place in the next 5 years. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, they're getting there offensively, but they got a long ways to go with that pitching. So what do you got? What do you have for them, David?
Yeah, dead last. Distant dead last too. Because like you said, everybody in that division got better. I can't fathom that the Red Sox got last place last year, and it's not going to happen this year. They're a lot better than the Orioles. And so, yeah, sorry, Casey. Going to be a rough year. Better pull for those Rockies. It's going to be a rough year for the Orioles this year. So, DJ, we did it. 20 minutes, buddy. That wraps it all up. We're going to buzz through a couple more here in a minute. The Brewers. And who's the other one, DJ? I'm thinking the Brewers.
And the Mets.
I can't wait to talk about the Mets.
That's going to be ugly.
So we'll see you guys tonight or later on. And y'all have a good night.
Yes, have a great night. This one was for you, Ron Fenwick, the twins, Mike and Jamie Jenkins, Casey Davis, and Jeff Nevin. That was for you 5. A lot of
Jeff Nevin.
A lot of teammates.
That guy's got to get on this podcast.
We got to get a hold of him somehow. I don't even know how to get a hold of him. So we got to work on him.
Jeff was a pretty huge germaphobe. And so I'm going to bet that he is living in a bubble somewhere.
So he probably knows how to Zoom, so we could probably get him on here pretty well.
Hey, the best thing that ever happened, and I know we got to cut this off, is when Jeff Nevin found a spitter on the bus. He was so disgusted. It was literally the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Oh wow, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Well, 3 of those guys have already been on here, so we gotta get Fenwick and we gotta get Nevin on here. But that's for you 5, and thank you guys for tuning in. We could barely survive talking 25 minutes about the Orioles, so we got to make this stop, David.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Have a good night, everybody.